Hello and welcome to It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi on Megapix Media. Joining me today is Paula Allen, who is Global Leader, Research and Total Wellbeing for Morneau Shepell. Thanks for joining us today.
A pleasure.
Well, you folks put out one of your regular state of the mental health of Canadians reports here just today and recently. And tell me, first of all, overall, what that survey showed you and what was troubling about that survey.
Well, the survey shows that the pandemic and all the experiences that we've had in 2020 really weighing heavily on Canadians. So we had a massive decline in mental health in the early part, just the latter part of March, beginning of April, and started to see a little bit of improvement towards the end of spring. But we've taken a bit of a turn for the worst, generally speaking. People are feeling burned out. There's a lot of anxiety, and even though we're moving forward in a positive way with vaccines, et cetera, there's still a lot of uncertainty.
Now, those numbers, I think it showed that Alberta was the most stressed out province right now. Is that correct?
Alberta is one of the provinces that is suffering the most. And again, a lot of reasons for that. Even going into the pandemic, actually, of all the provinces, Alberta's mental health score was the lowest. And that really says that, things happened even prior to 2020. There was a lot of economic uncertainty. So that showed itself, and the pandemic was on the top of it. And again, Albertans really haven't improved at all through this time and took a little bit of a decline like the rest of the provinces over the last couple of months.
Well, I guess also Alberta's got kind of the double whammy, right? We had the pandemic, but also, we still haven't recovered from the collapse of oil prices a few years back, correct?
Precisely, precisely. And we know that mental health has been important even prior to the pandemic. We were preparing to launch this for 3 years. So the ups and downs of the economy, what's happening in society, and on the positive end, we were looking to see some improvement as a result of reducing stigma. So even after pandemic, we'll continue to do this reporting on a monthly basis because mental health is important for us to all to be aware of and to measure so we can manage it well.
Yeah. Now, when you look at the overall scenario in the country, uh, the longer this goes on, is it a correlation that the length of time that is weighing on people mentally, the fact that it's continuing on and on and on?
Uh, y- uh, w- Without question, I'm actually a little bit more concerned about what we're seeing now than I was in April, because it has been going on for a long time. We have been feeling this kind of unrelenting stress, and that's not what the human mind was meant to deal with. We're meant to deal with surges, and there's a bit of anxiety, there's a bit of adrenaline, and then we have some recovery. We have some fun, we have some social support, we have some downtime to allow our brains to calm.
Yeah.
And we really haven't had that, and that's a concern.
Now, what do you think is going to happen in terms of the mental health with today's news that Health Canada has approved the vaccine, and so we're going to start to see that roll out fairly shortly?
Well, it can go in a couple of ways. I think definitely it's a positive, in a positive direction because we can see that when we have a vaccine, we'll move towards something calmer. We'll move out of this crisis state. But there's still a lot of uncertainty about what things will look like afterwards. And one of the things that I think people need to be most cognizant of is sometimes when you see the light at the end of the tunnel, you really have no patience to get there.
Yeah.
And we know that it'll take a while. So I do worry about people feeling more frustrated that it's not moving faster. We're not getting out of the crisis as quickly as possible. And I do think that we need to take stock of what we can be grateful for, the fact that we are moving forward, still practice self-care and reach out for support, because there isn't going to be a switch flipped, and that switch isn't going to impact our mental health either.
Yeah, so we all know the problems associated with mental health and the other physical health problems that can come from that. But can you talk also about the economic impact of, like, you know, how much of an issue does mental health have and become a problem for the economic conditions of the country, I guess?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm so glad that you raised that because that's one of the reasons why we prepared to launch the mental health index even prior to the pandemic, because it does have a relationship. How productive you can be at work relates to what your mental state is, how creative and innovative you can be, your resilience and ability to problem solve, your participation in the economy, and whether you have the confidence to spend money, the confidence to open a business, the confidence really to do everything that's important in driving a positive economy.
Yeah.
So we know that in terms of businesses, the mental health of their people and how the organization supports that has an impact on whether they have business success or not. And we see the exact same thing for society overall.
Okay, great. Anything else you'd like to add, Paula?
I think with all, it feels like there's a lot of bad news in the conversation, but there's
Yeah.
also a lot of good news. Not everyone is being affected the same way. And we find when people take action, just take back some control, take stock of your finances, make contingency plans, build emergency savings, take advantage of services to support your mental health, such as employee assistance program or any of the public services. We can get out of this stronger by building the skills that'll help us withstand other crises. So we've seen that positive in some people, and I do hope that we have that same experience for more people.
Okay, super. Well, thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, that was Paula Allen, Global Leader of Research and Total Wellbeing for Morneau and Shepell. This has been It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi on Megapix Media. Thanks for joining us today.